Welcome to another edition of Entrepreneurs and Fuego, man. I am delighted. Today, I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time because I'm an idiot when it comes to e-commerce, e-stores. I have no idea. And fortunately, we have Craig Fox, who is the chairman and CEO of Pinnacle Cart, which is a huge e-commerce site. For me, for the naive guy, tell me what an e-commerce site is. I mean, and I know, a lot of people listening and seeing this video, they're going to go, "You're an idiot," because you should know these things. But
No.
please educate me.
First of all, you're not an idiot, and there's no dumb question. So, what e-commerce is? It goes by a lot of different names. It can go by store builder software. It can go by site builder software. E-commerce software.
Okay.
And really, what we are is we are a soup to nuts e-commerce solution. So, for example, if you're looking to sell products online, coffee cups, let's say.
All right.
You're going to need to somehow get it online. You're going to need a system that's going to build that store for you. You're going to need a system that you're going to upload your photos to that's going to display that store or that product to people that come to your store. When someone wants to buy it, they're going to have to put a credit card in, and you're going to need a system to transact that. You're going to need to calculate shipping. You're going to need to calculate taxes. You're going to need to manage that order through the system and through your procedures in your store. And that's what Pinnacle Cart does. It is a complete solution that takes care of all of that for the business owners.
So for me, before my learning about Pinnacle Cart, my idea was, all right, if I want to sell a product or a set of products, then I have to either have a physical office storefront where I can push that product, or maybe I put it on my website or create my own website, and I have to know coding and all this garbage. And I'm like, God, I don't know any of that things.
Right.
So where you come in is you say, you don't need to do any of that. What do I have to be good at in order for your site to be successful, for my products to be successful? What do I need to do? Is it marketing? Is it more technical? What is going to set me apart from the rest of the people that are selling similar products?
Well, first of all, you need to have a niche, I think. We've shown that when we take a look at all of our stores, the stores that have a niche and are specializing in something tend to do better. But you need to be a good marketer, quite honestly. You need to know how to get your products in front of people. Now, look, our software helps you with that. We take a look at internet growth and we see where all the growth is happening. It's happening primarily in marketplaces, Amazon, eBay, stuff like that. So what we have is within our systems, we have the ability for you to take your products and migrate them out to those marketplaces to get that first user and to get your product in front of the buyers. So, really people can come to your store and buy your products, of course, but you want to get your product out in front of as many people as possible. So that's what Pinnacle Cart does. Not only gets your product out in front of your customers, but helps you with search engine optimization so you can elevate yourself in Google. It'll take your product, it'll move it out to Amazon, it'll move it out to eBay, it'll move it out to about 20 or 30 different marketplaces. So it's not just one solution. By the way, the solution's completely mobile ready. As mobile's growing, people are coming in looking on their cell phones, we'll present that product in a mobile ready environment. Facebook, social is going crazy, everybody knows that. We give you a social store in your Facebook. So you can create a Facebook page and all your products will automatically migrate into your store. So really what we're about is one, you need to be, to answer your question, sorry I got a little bit off track there. No, to answer your question, you need to be good at marketing, okay? And to start a business, I think you need to get into a niche. And all the things I've talked about, you need to be good at too. But we've built a software that kind of helps you along with that. So we try to get your product in front of as many people as possible. But that certainly doesn't discredit the fact that you need to kind of come up with unique messaging, good colors. We find that great imagery is one of the ways that you can sell product and move product.
Craig, we talked to a lot of entrepreneurs, and I think the one thing that I've taken out of the interviews that we've done here in Fuego is the fact that it always boils down to how do you market your product?
Yep.
How to market your product. I mean, you can have the best technology in the world.
Doesn't matter.
You could be the best attorney, the best accountant, but if nobody knows about you, then you are the best attorney sitting in an empty office with your diplomas in the back. Yep. Or you are the best, you may have the next best thing. But if you don't know how to market it, the world doesn't know about it, how the hell are you going to move it?
Right.
And so, for me, that is truly important. So you got it. And even if I have again the best product, marketing is what's going to do it. Were you always a marketing guy, or were you in a different industry?
You know what? My skill set is a kind of a cross between technology and marketing. Yes, I've always been very interested in marketing. My education is actually in psychology. So I've always been looking for ways that you can get products and sell products to human beings. In ways
it's all about behavior, right?
Right,
It's all about just
behavior.
shifting your behavior and making you want to buy that you're pushing.
Right.
And so it's a psyche game.
Fortunately for me, my dad was very technology focused. He built computers. So I had that exposure early in my life. So it was kind of that combination of marketing along with that technology exposure, which kind of brought me to the point where I am today in creating the software.
So what is, I gotta ask you this, because what is the weirdest shit that you saw being sold through your platform?
You don't want to know about it. Well, I mean, so I'm assuming this is PG, so let's start there. So you can kind of get an idea where things are going from there. I mean, all kinds of weird underwear. I mean, just crazy stuff we've seen. We've also seen, but one of the more interesting things, and this is kind of talking about the niche. I remember a couple years ago, I was talking with a guy, and he was selling beer can bobbers. I kid you not. Beer can bobbers. So when you're fishing and you have your line out there, you want to keep the hook up above the ground, you use a bobber. He was selling beer can bobbers, and he was doing great. I mean, his revenue per month gross, I'm not going to get into it there. I don't like to reveal everybody's secrets, but I was like, wow. So what I'm trying to get across here is it really doesn't matter. If you're good at marketing and you have a niche, you'll move products and you know how to communicate with your customers. And more importantly, you're solving a need. Look, in the beer can bobber case, I don't know if that's actually a need, but there is a need for bobbers. He came out with something unique. He was the only one that was doing it, and he was doing great at it. But yeah, we've had some interesting products being moved through our website.
Do you vet the type of products or servers that are?
No. From a legality standpoint, if they're on our servers, and by the way, there's two ways that you can have Pinnacle Cart. One is just what we call the hosted model or the SaaS model. So you pay us a couple bucks a month, or it's a little bit more than a couple bucks a month. I think it starts at about $29 a month, and we'll take care of it. Or you can actually purchase the software and put it on your own server and manage it on your own. When it's on our servers, yes, we have some restrictions. There's some nudity restrictions, and of course, we don't really want anything to do with hate. Then you're out.
I'm out. I just had this whole image right now in my head, man. I was going to go, put my server in Singapore.
I've got to tell you, people have pushed that limit. I mean, I've seen some things where I'm like, okay, I can see a little something there. We need to be careful because ultimately, it's our agreement with our hosting farm that we need to worry about, and then we have an agreement with our customers. So if they, catch pornographic pictures on there, we're going to get in trouble. So we need to be careful. Sex sells, and I encourage that type of stuff to do that to move product. But nudity we can't have unfortunately on our servers. Now I'm all for it.
Something could be sexy to sell a product, but not.
We're moving a lot of sex toys, so sex sells absolutely for sure. But it's just that
was that site? No, just kidding. So, all right, so you're moving a lot of product. You're doing this. Were you always an entrepreneur, or did you work for somebody else?
So my background was in, as a psychology major. I was that guy that did all kinds of jobs. I was paper route, bill collections, Subway, everything like that. And really, the first job that I had was through one of the world's largest advertising agencies. Little did I know, it was actually Yellow Page Advertising that was creating the world's largest advertising agency in volume. I know it sounds odd, but this was 15, 20 years ago.
A lot of younger people listening to this and watching this here with Craig Fox from Pinnacle Cart, they probably don't remember Let Your Fingers Do the Walking, right?
Yeah.
They have no idea what it is.
Right, and what used to
Kids
happen
go
is
out and Google it.
Pizza Hut, that's how they drove all their business, was through the Yellow Pages.
Right.
So we would have accounts like Pizza Hut and Ryder Truck Rental and stuff like that. So I started there, and really the internet was just going. At the time, I remember I was talking to the Yahoo advertising rep, and she was one of two people that were advertising reps for Yahoo. I think there was 16 people in the whole organization. I was in Denver, Colorado, buying ads for Ryder Truck Rental, and she was in Atlanta. That was my sales rep. for Yahoo. So it was really interesting in being at the kind of cusp of this internet starting. This is back in the 90s.
Sure.
So really no one knew anything. You know, I remember the first pay-per-click advertising came out, and everyone was like, well, that's not going to work. Why is anybody going to pay for things that you can get listed for free?
Wow.
So it was great. You know, so when all those things started coming out, you know, being kind of in a first mover advantage and taking advantage of the things that, knowing technology, knowing how it worked. I remember I was, one of our clients that I was working for, which I don't even know exists anymore, was Ryder Truck Rental.
Sure.
One of their big competitors is local here, U-Haul.
U-Haul.
So what we were able to do through search engine optimization and a bunch of different things is elevate them above U-Haul. So in the real world, the percentage at that point in time was, I think, 80% U-Haul had the market, and then Ryder had about 20% of the market offline. And online, it was flipped. It was the exact opposite. And Yahoo couldn't figure, or excuse me, U-Haul couldn't figure it out. So of course we got served a lawsuit eventually, just kind of going, we're going to sue you for something. We don't know what we're suing you for, but we're going to sue you for something. So yeah, my background was in that. Then after doing kind of the corporate gig for about 2 years, I realized that quite honestly, I love to travel. I'm addicted to travel.
Right. And
I remember talking to my boss, he's like, look, the best you're ever going to get is about 2 weeks vacation in a corporate job. So 2 weeks to travel the world. I'm like, well, that's just...
That's not going to work. So
that's not going to work.
Was that the moment that you said to yourself, I could apply everything that I know right now that I've learned, and I can do it better. Why am I doing it for them? Why am I doing it for the man? I can do this better. Is that what happened in your head?
Yes, that's exactly right. I realized that, even though
was it scary to take that plunge, or were you so confident enough? Because you strike me like a very confident individual. So did you have any fear at all that you would not succeed?
No, I didn't. And it's not because I had this confidence that I was going to succeed, because I put myself in a position where it didn't matter if I failed. And look, one of the first companies that I ever did, and this is again a little while ago, was a prepaid Visa card company. Now they're all over the place.
Of course.
We'd started, I had developed a board of directors here in Phoenix. We were meeting, we were starting to get going, and things were going great. But what I want to get to is that company failed. And I will tell you something, I never learned more in failure than I ever had in my life. So you have to kind of take a look at your failures as being your successes too. Because if it wasn't for that failure, and believe me, that lasted about 8 or 9 months where I was driving as hard as I could to get this thing to succeed. It's a great idea, it's a multi-trillion-dollar business, but it wasn't me that was going to be doing it. And that's another thing you need to realize sometimes is you might have a great idea, we all have great ideas, but sometimes the idea matched with the right person is what's necessary for success. And I wasn't the right person at that point in time.
Craig Fox with Pinnacle Cart. For those of you who are watching, what is the best advice that you would give an entrepreneur, somebody that's starting a business? And again, you are right there, man. I mean, you see people starting businesses all the time in your platform, right?
It's great.
You're bam, and you're the epicenter. So you see a lot of people fail, but you also see a lot of people succeed.
Right.
Do you have, and again, it's probably not scientific, but you don't track this thing, but do you know how many failures are compared to the successes?
Oh, there's many, many more failures. But you know what? Like I was saying before, you learn from those failures. Okay. And then ultimately, I hear about people succeeding after those failures. Look, you can succeed on your first shot. I don't mean to say that. But you ultimately learn more on your failures. And I think the most important characteristic in anybody that's trying to start a business is courage. There's an argument that says it's intelligence, you need to know all those things. I think that's a bunch of crap. You know what it is? It's courage, and you have to love what you're doing, because if you don't love what you're doing, when you're starting out a business, the last person, and you know this, that gets paid is you.
Shit, you tell me, man, I'm still waiting to get paid.
Right. So if you're just starting a business, and you have to start paying all your vendors, so if you don't absolutely love what you're doing, it's not going to last. And look, for Pinnacle Cart, I was working for it for 2 or 3 years before I finally started paying myself. It's just the way it goes. But I want to touch on the courage thing, because it is important, because everybody's going to be supportive of you when you start a business. Of course, your friends will be in. But
you're going to have a share of haters and naysayers.
That's what I was going to get to.
Right.
And that's where courage comes into play. You're going to have people that are going, what are you, an idiot? Who's going to buy that beer can bobber? What are you, dumb? But you know what? You keep driving, and you know this too. Eventually what happens is it shifts and it changes. And all the no's and no's and no's. And believe me, once you start getting sales and things start happening, it's miraculous how many people jump on your bandwagon. I was behind you the whole time. Well, you know
I
what?
knew you were going to succeed.
You know, but you know what? Come on in. I always say, yep, you were great. Come on in, let's go.
Courage, passion, never give up.
Right.
If you fail, don't worry about it. Do it again
Absolutely.
until you succeed. And at some point, you're going to succeed, man.
Absolutely.
We're very proud and very, very privileged to have you here, man. And
Oh,
I know
thanks,
we're neighbors just about.
Oh, you're going to see me all the time now.
I
love
like
it here.
that, man. Craig,
Appreciate
man,
it.
You're my new hero, man. And just because of that, you know why? I tell you that. I tell you truly because you are. It's very difficult to be on the epicenter of what happens with entrepreneurs. We are a co-working space here at the Office Pile here in Phoenix. And so we get a lot of entrepreneurs that come in.
Right.
But you are right there. You're taking the pulse of the people that are getting products out, people that are selling, people that are succeeding, people that are failing. And so you're, bam, right there.
Well, it's fun, for sure. It absolutely is interesting. And one thing I want to tell you is you know, anybody that joins your membership here, send us an email, and we're going to give them Pinnacle Cart for a year for free to get them going. If they have a need for e-commerce,
I'm sold.
You know, we're all about getting businesses going here in
I'm
Phoenix.
sold.
So
Did you hear that, Rosie?
If they need
Are you
some
taking
e-commerce
notes?
services, just drop us an email, drop Kyle in the office. He'll take care of it for you, and we'll set you up for a year free of charge. We want to foster business here, and we want to do everything that we can. And look, we'll help you along the way. So just have them join the membership with you guys, because I think it's amazing what's going on
Thanks,
here.
man.
I love
Appreciate
the co-work
it.
office space. And
Appreciate
if
it.
anyone hasn't been here, you really need to be here. It's incredible.
And just because we paid you to say that, you're going to get an Office Pile t-shirt, man. This is by one of our local artists.
Okay.
I think this was done by Pablo, what's his last name? Pablo Luna. He's a crazy guy.
Fantastic.
I love him. And this is for you, my brother.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Hey,
man.
appreciate it.
Now,
Yes.
we're going to see you again and again and again because I want to hear more stories about the crazy stuff that goes on our Pinnacle
there's a lot
Cart.
of it.
There's a lot of crazy stuff, too. Thanks, man. We're out.
Thank you.